Is being single weird, or are most people just afraid to stand out and stand alone? Hi, my name is Violetta. Welcome back, or welcome to All About Being Single. So, I've been making an observation that most things in society come in pairs or multiples, and society is deeply uncomfortable with just one of anything. It almost feels like sometimes unfinished or suspicious or just not enough. And this was really inspired by me driving back from hiking one day, and I bought like one single rose from like one of those people that tries to like sell you stuff at the intersection. And I was just like, this is kind of, I don't want to say odd, but I do think that a lot of people sometimes do find just buying like one of something odd. Whether it's one single rose or even at the grocery store, you have usually things in like multiples or like multiple servings. If you're buying stuff in like a box pre-made, usually they don't just give you like a one serving. I think we're seeing a little bit more of that now, but the one serving stuff is usually so much more expensive than it should be because even to whoever's producing it, it kind of almost doesn't make sense to just provide just one of the thing. So like usually if you just buy one of something, you're going to spend more for it than if you purchased it in pairs. And even if you go to like a gas station, a lot of times, or like a 7-Eleven, a lot of times they'll have like buy one Red Bull, get one free, or buy two for like this sale price, because again, they want you to buy more than one. If you just took even one picture while out instead of like multiples to make sure that it comes out, one at least comes out well. Even salt and pepper shakers usually come as like a set. Most people tend to say we instead of I, and I know I even do that sometimes when I'm like, we, our community, or something. It'd be weird to just like buy one balloon or just buy one taco or just have like one AirPod or maybe go and buy like a fancy plate, but just one, or maybe try to just buy one fork or like, a setup for just one person. They don't make those even. If you had only like one pillow on the bed, right? Like I think a lot of people would be like, oh, that's odd. Because again, it's just not what society is used to. Even like one like on a post feels almost like worse than just zero. If you go someplace and there's a dance floor and there's only one person dancing, that's odd. Or maybe just one side of the bed being slept on, or just having one chair at a dinner table, that would look off. Because again, we're used to seeing, our schema is more of seeing like four chairs, or like, two chairs. So more of a set at a table. Somebody's making a joke and only one person laughs, that's also odd, right? If you were to just have one gift bag under the tree or one ticket to a concert, like people tend to, again, think that might be weird. And I know we talked about it in a previous episode. But so just like with these one-offs, it's just like that these things that kind of stand out in a sea of pairs and multiples, I think us singles sometimes make society nervous because people within society are used to this order almost of like, I don't want to say order, but order I think is the best word right now, of items just coming in pairs and multiples, and it goes against, our societal norms. So sometimes we singles just simply go against the norms. And just like with these one-offs, just like these things stand out in a sea of pairs and multiples, I think us singles sometimes, we make society nervous because people within the society are used to this order of items almost. I don't know what other way to explain it, but just this order of items coming in pairs and multiples. And I think that our way of life sometimes scares people because most people would rather stay in miserable relationships than face themselves and be single. Okay, I remember someone once telling me that I was brave to be able to break up with someone without having someone else lined up because most people aren't that strong. Most people cannot stand to be alone. And it's true. Like, that's a hill I'll die on. Like, no matter what, we are strong as singles. And see how even right now I'm using the word we instead of like, I am strong as a single. So I think, again, it goes, just something about society. We like to kind of be in a group, we like to be part of a group. So I think we love using the word we because then it feels better to be in numbers. I wonder if it's also some kind of a survival tactic, actually, now that I'm saying this out loud. But yeah, we are living different lives than the majority of people being single, especially for single, like long term, and you're not just jumping from one relationship to another. And that can be hard because we're literally, again, going against societal expectations and what's normal, and the fact that most people pair up quite often and try to stay paired up as much as possible. And so those of us who are forced or choose to be single are so damn resilient and strong, and I'm proud of you. So for this episode, because we're talking about just one of something, I'm actually going to put the note to self and the glow up together. I'll still do my dance because you know I love to dance and I always say dance every day. But for the sake of this special episode, again, we're going to turn the note to self and the glow up into just one instead of two separate items. So I'm not going to give you really my thoughts on the note to self because it's more of just one single reflection prompt for you. Where did you learn that one means weird or not enough? Where in your life can just me be enough? So just notice it this week and let this just one be one. Take out the just, call it one. Because we don't have to use just or only when describing one. One is enough. And I'm going to leave you with that. If you haven't already, please follow or subscribe wherever you're listening to this so you don't miss any future episodes. There's so many more good episodes coming up. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next Tuesday.